we're going to move on to our next presentation, which is 3D data in Cityworks. And this is to be presented by our technical solution specialists, Jessica MacLean and Kevin Iraheta at Esri Canada here. So having said that, I'll pass it over to Kevin and Jessica for the presentation.
Thanks, Rob. So thanks for the introduction. So just a little brief note here. We're going to be doing our presentation on 3D in Cityworks. Jess and I come from a municipal background and have been with Esri for about less than a year and have had tons of experience with Cityworks to date. All right, so just a brief overview on 3D in Cityworks. Just wanted to provide something pretty high level here. You will be able to use the functionality within your web scenes in ArcGIS Online or Portal in Cityworks, such as the pan, tilt, zoom. You will also be able to go through your normal workflows like selecting assets and creating activities from the map, just like you would with your web map. To use the 3D tools in Cityworks, you'll need to ensure you have at least the following: a web scene service and a web map service. For your web scenes, it would be best to have your 3D features symbolized using the symbology within the web scene editor or viewer. For what we are showing later, I used our 2D data from our park feature classes and created a local scene in Pro, then published it onto ArcGIS Online. After that, I updated the symbology with the scene viewer and then imported it to Cityworks through the GIS services service resource tab in admin. So just some screenshots here of what that process will look like. Next thing, once you have your services in, you go into your map services. And all that's left to do is add them both to your service definition. So I had a service definition for parks. I added each of these here. So I have my web scene at the top and web map on the bottom here. Next, let's go ahead and see what 3D looks like in action. So here I am with a 2D map. The first thing I'm going to showcase here is the service switcher tool. So this allows you to switch between your 2D and 3D services. So you can see here, now we're in 3D. I'm going to use the daylight tool here because it does look a bit dark here. And this is great to change the time of day and the angle of the sun on the map. So here I'm just using the timeline function here just to fast forward. I can also pause at any moment as well. So once I'm happy, I'm just going to stop here and look at that beautiful park. The next tool I'm going to be showing here is the slice tool. So the slice tool allows you to select a point on a 3D structure and discover interior parts of the structure more easily. So here I just sliced open this building here. I can use this anchor to change the level here, but this also makes accessing assets within like a structure more accessible. So you can see here I can interact with this trash can. So the next thing I'm going to be showing here is the measure tool. So the measure tool is used for measuring area and distances. This is a similar tool that's within ArcGIS Scene Viewer on ArcGIS Online or Portal. So you can see here, I'm just measuring the distance here between the two buildings here. It does capture vertical height as well. I'm just going to change it to metric since we are in Canada here. And then the last tool I'm going to be showing here is the editor. So the editor will allow me to add any new features to the map. So over here, I'm just going to go ahead and add a tree in here. So you'll see this is a pretty cool process here. Boom, we have a tree. I can go ahead and plop it wherever I want. I'm going to say there's a tree right here in the middle of this walkway here. I can input the planting height or species or really populate any attributes that I want. This can be configured for what fields you want to show as well before bringing it in here. And that's all I have for these 3D overview for the tools. Next, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Jess, who's just going to go through over Cityworks scenario.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin has shown an overview of the 3D tools in the Cityworks map. Now we will utilize the map and go through a typical tree inspection preventive maintenance scenario. On the slide, we have a preview of how I will conduct this scenario. I will act as a supervisor to create a single work order with 2 to 3 tree assets attached. The work order template is configured to auto-create an inspection per asset. Therefore, the outcome will be a single work order containing several related inspections. The inspections are auto-assigned to Blake, a forestry operator. Next, we will switch roles and Blake will complete the assigned inspection and make an asset update on the height of the tree. He will add a comment adding that he updated the height. And lastly, the supervisor will receive a notification regarding the height update, and they will review and close the inspection. This will conclude a cradle-to-grave maintenance scenario. So here I am on Cityworks with the screen split between the Create Work Order page and the map. I'm going to select the trees I want to create inspections on and go ahead and create a single work order for the 2 trees. So here I am selecting the work order template and clicking Create Work Order. Once created, I will scroll down to the related work activity and select an inspection to confirm that it is submitted to Blake, the forestry operator. So here we can see we were successful. Now we're switching gears to Blake's account, our forestry operator's dashboard. For the sake of this demonstration, I am completing the inspection on a desktop computer. Blake is accessing his inspections through an event layer that has been configured to display initiated inspections that have been assigned to him. He can, of course, access the inspections through his inbox, too. Blake has inspected this tree and he has determined that it is in fair condition. He noticed some fungus on the trunk and is ensuring to note that in his observations right here. He's completing his specifics and then moving on to general condition observations, where the overall condition is getting marked as fair, as well as the trunk condition due to the fungus. Blake has also used his hypsometer to determine the height of the tree as 10 meters. He notices this is different than the previously entered information, therefore he's going to go ahead and update it. He's also going to leave a comment to his supervisor, Edith, indicating the update that he made. He's going to mark the resolution as inspected completed, change the status to completed, and do some other housekeeping to indicate that he was the one who completed this inspection. Blake's going to go ahead and save this inspection and move on to his next tree inspection of the day. Switching gears back in the office, Blake's comment triggered an email to Edith indicating that he changed the height on one of his inspections. Edith selects the link in the email, which brings her right to the inspection where she can observe the completed inspection. The height updates on the map, and we can see that our tree has shrunk into what appears to be a little bush. You can see it on the right-hand side on the map there. Because we indicated that the tree is only 10 meters high, most of the trees around it are about 20 to 25 meters high. We just made this tree very small for effect. When we did the height attribute in his inspection, it automatically changes the height on the asset. Cityworks uses this height to display the data realistically. Therefore, when the field is changed, the height changes on the map. Edith is happy with her inspection and will now close it, completing the preventive maintenance inspection scenario. This concludes our demonstration for 3D implementation and preventive maintenance workflows using 3D data. Thank you.